In part 4 of this series, I showed making the dovetail pins in the side component. In this video, I'll show how to use these already made pins to create the matching tails in the end component. Here, as I pull the side forward, you can see that the matching tails have not been made in the end component. To get started, I need to pull a copy of the side and end components away from the assembly. I want to take advantage of the pins that are already on the side to accurately cut the tails on the end. I'll copy the pin geometry and place it within the end component. Edit the side component, draw a select box around the pin geometry. Then copy this geometry, close the side component, close the side component, and then delete it. Open the end component for edit, and do a paste in place command under the Edit tab. This installs the pin geometry within the definition of the end component. To make sure all the intersecting lines are created, I'll select all and do an intersection with selection command. There's quite a bit of cleanup here before constructing those tails. Since these two intersecting parts are not collinear and do not fully overlap, this creates some of the extra work here. There are protruding parts here of the pin geometry from the side that needs erasing, leaving the important elements, lines, to show where the tails will go in the end. Additional lines on this face, on the inside face, can be erased. Okay, but there's still some more cleanup, and I'll change to X-ray format to see inside the end component and erase additional edges that won't be used. Placement of guidelines is going to be a great help in this process. Then with the line tool, I complete the tail geometry. You want to zoom in close while doing these line extensions. And you want to watch and see that the face appears. To get a parallel line here, start the line, then touch the edge and watch for the magenta color. Okay, that's good for one socket. Here's a socket for a dovetail pin. Again, use the tape measure to create collinear guidelines, double-clicking on the lines. Then with the line tool, complete the geometry by extending here, crossing over on the edge. Watch for the inferences. They're little X's that show that you're at the intersection point. And it tells you when you're on this end point or line to create that face. We need some vertical edges back here in the back at the corners. Now we've got a socket. It is important to zoom in closely and watch these inferences. Otherwise, you run the chance of not connecting exactly to the existing line endpoints and not connecting at the proper intersection. So watch for those little X's. Watch for the endpoint word, and then you're safer and you will have these faces appear properly. I don't like to have a lot of guidelines in my while I'm working these things. They get cluttered, so I delete them as soon as I can get rid of them. Here's the last socket up here on the top corner. And again, we've got some parallel lines. Touch the edge, watch for magenta, click. Another parallel edge back here. Watch for the magenta color and then come across. Now we can turn off the X-ray and delete the waste in the open sockets. Some faces may show the wrong color, the back side. So use the menu to reverse faces. Click that edge out of there, open up the socket, change the face. That completes the tails on one end of the end component. Let's copy those, the end dovetails. Copy. Move, now I'm down the green axis. Flip it along the green axis. And move it back into precise position. This little intersection meets up with that intersection. Pick the eraser tool and again knock out the waste. Okay, we can close the end component here and erase it. We don't need it anymore. The ones that are back here in the assembly are now fixed, and let's inspect for the perfect fitting dovetail joints. We zoom in, we can see some extra protruding material that will be just enough in the shop construction to plane flat faces after gluing up. That completes the compound angle corner joints.